Hey guys, so as you can see I am here with Dorito again. So today for our video I thought what we could do is instead of more of an informational video, I could do kind of a story. So today's story is going to be about how and where and when I got Dorito. Thought it would just be cool because I know some people in the past have asked me where you can get your beer dragons, where I got mine, where I got Dorito, all that gist of stuff. But before we do go on to the video, I do want to make one disclaimer. Please do not get your beer dragons from like pet chains, because sometimes, and actually most of the time, oh okay, go up here. And actually most of the time they're not good. They don't care for their pets right. And then that will cost you more medical bills and all that. And it's just not good for the beer dragon. And then they're not. But if you are a specialist and an actual expert and have gone to college and trained in rescuing animals, that's totally fine. But just make sure you do your research on where you get your beer dragons. It's not even just beer dragons, any reptile or any animal. Because some can be places that don't take care of them good, and for beginners don't know what they're good at doing, it's not good to you, because then sometimes you can be faulty in caring for them. So it's not good to have a sick animal when you might not even know how to care for it. So with that being said, let's just get straight into the video. So like I said, today's video, and Doritos, like as you can see, sorry you can't see his face, but he's going to be up on my shoulder. So for today's video, it's going to be about a story of how I got Doritos. So I'm going to give you all a little bit of background information. I got him on September 28th. September 28th, 2019. So that's about a year and 4 or 5-ish months ago. So that's about how old Dorito was. And so I got him, and then, but for the background information, I just wanted to say about maybe 6 months prior to that, because I know in June I was still doing it. I was researching, so I think I started maybe around maybe about May or April is when I started researching on my own, and I was just like, oh, I think these are, because I've had like 3 hamsters in the past, and it's been like a year or 2 since the last one died, and I was like, I don't really want another hamster because I kind of want a longer animal, because they died like in a year, and I was just sick of it. Like, I loved hamsters, and don't get me wrong, they're amazing pets, but I was just getting sick of like having an animal die. Like, I don't know why, I just kind of didn't want that, and I also kind of wanted to change. And I was like, you know what, let's not. And I wanted a gerbil at one point and a ferret, but my parents wouldn't let me get that because my mom doesn't like rats and stuff, and my parents didn't want a ferret because they stunk. And like, I was just like, so let me think about reptiles. Snakes, they won't let me get because mice, my parents, when I'm older, I'll probably have some though when I have my own house. So I've been researching about 6 months, and then July we go to Florida every year, and I know we're very fortunate to be able to go there and go to Disney World. But about like at 11 every night when we were just in our little place, and at the beach, I was just researching, and I was like, that's when my parents kind of mentioned it. I kept on talking about it, but they were like, are y'all because my parents said, if you make a Google Slides presentation or paper, we'll let you get a beer dragon. They were like, at that point, it'd been like 6 months, like I said, so they were like, so where are you going to get the beer dragon? And I was like, well, I can get them online, because like I said, pet stores aren't good. And they're like, pet stores are fine. And then I was like, I showed them why on the Google slide, Dorito. And then I was like, and they were like, oh, I guess I see your point sometimes. Because when we would go in there for like, I don't know, just random reasons, we would go in pet stores. And I was like, look, because I would put it like, they missed them. Like, they missed them instead of me giving baths. Their cages are too small and all that. So I'd give them reasons like, okay, so, and they didn't want to buy it online, which I still don't really understand, because I buy beer dragons, or not beer dragons, I buy Jubu roaches online all the time, get them delivered to our house, but they didn't really want that. So like, where else could you get it? And so I was like, well, there are these things called reptile expos, and since we're in Florida, I was like, there's some in Florida, but when I kind of mentioned that we already left Florida, the one wasn't until like, I think maybe August, and so I wanted to get it for my birthday, for my 13th birthday, so I technically got Dorito when I was 12, which my 13th birthday was in November, on November 23rd, and then get a bunch more stuff for Christmas, like it's big 67-gallon tank. But I was like, so they were like, okay, well, is there a reptile expo near our house where we actually live in Florida, where we go for vacation, since we go in July and the reptile expo wasn't until like August or some point. And I looked it up, and Roanoke, so we live in Rocky Mount, which is kind of about 30 minutes from Roanoke, and you're tricking me, it's about like 30 minutes from Roanoke. So Roanoke is basically the city, because we live in the country, and then Roanoke's the city about 30 minutes from us, because we have to drive to get to anywhere in 30 minutes. And so I was like, well, about in September 28th-ish, there's this reptile expo, and at first they were like kind of iffy on it, because they were like, it has snakes and stuff and all that, but like about it, because this was like in July, like I said, when we were talking about this, and I was like, it kind of maybe August, they're like, okay, so how much does it cost you? And I was like, $5 per person, and there's 4 people in my family, my sister, my mom, and my dad, and then me. And I was like, so they're like, okay, we'll pay for you to get in to the $5 for each person if you pay for all the stuff. So for about, since May of 2019 till about May till September 19th, I was saving up months, saving up money. I swear, like, all my life, this is such a lifesaver. Do anything, clean, do extra chores. So my dad's like, in his work, he always keeps change in his pocket, and then my mom does his laundry and empties it out. And so I just like went in there and collected all the change. And I ended up with $20 in change. So like change at the end. So change is a lifesaver. And then I went to Walmart and bought a bunch of stuff for him that he needed. And that was like just little tiny things I didn't even have to work for. I just had to go in the laundry room and find the change. So anything you do can help. But at the end, I believe I had about $500 saved. And so in September we went, and it was actually really cool. I saw like there's hedgehogs, there's even cats, but there was like leopard geckos. They were so cute. It actually like when I'm older, I want to work at Disney World and like be an animal care attendant, and made me fall so much in love with animals. Even more of seeing them in person, because it was so cute. They had a bunch of snakes. There was leopard geckos, bearded dragons. There's even hedgehogs, cats. I think there was even a sugar glider, I'm not sure. But there was just tons of reptiles, and there's even some small exotic animals. There's tons of spiders, which I'm not a big fan of spiders at all, but there's tarantulas, stuff like that. But anyways, besides the point, we went, my parents weren't too fond of it, especially my mom, because she doesn't really like reptiles and stuff. But she's likes Dorito now and stuff. Neither does my grandma, and I think it's just like they don't like rats at all. And like, I love rats. I think they're so cute. And like in the future, I could totally see me owning rats. But they didn't like seeing the frozen rats in the little freezer things. And so we just quickly went through that area, even though I kind of saw it kind of fascinating, because that's how snakes eat and stuff. But besides the point, we got him. And so right when you open the door, you got like this little spider stamp in your thing saying that you paid money. And my mom didn't like that either, because she didn't really like a spider on her. Like, it was just a regular stamp on her finger. But anyways, you got that. And then right when you enter these tiny, I'll try to insert a picture, because I actually forgot to get the container. I don't want to get out, but I'll insert a picture of what I brought Dorito in. Because what I bought, they gave me. And I still keep it this day to put all his superworms in. And he was so tiny. Like, I'll insert a bunch of pictures. But he was so cute, and so I saw him, and at first I didn't think he was that orange. And I also saw that they had a red light on the container, and for a nighttime I was like, I'm kind of iffy about that, because that's not really how you take care of. And she was even telling me like, oh, you can get this, and I was like, but then when I went around, there was only, besides like adult bearded dragons, I wanted a baby, just because I wanted to grow up and have a baby, because I think that was so cute, even though it was more work on my part. I was like, oh, this is so cute. So there's only, they were like 6 in that little cage they had for them. But there was only one other baby bearded dragons there, but they hadn't hatched yet. And you could like go to this place and go get them once they hatch. And I was like, nah, because they were red, because I wanted a orange, or as you can see, Doritos like orange, normal, more. Hopefully you can see that, but You can go on other, he's like climbing. He's an orange jellish color, so I wanted that because I wanted to name him Dorito. And I also really wanted a boy, but they didn't really, obviously, since he was a baby. Now y'all can't see Dorito at all, but he's back there on my back. Let me turn. Oh, don't fall. Oh gosh, buddy, don't fall. Okay, chill. Okay. That was not the smoothest way, Dorito, to get you down. Hopefully you're okay. Okay, there we go. There, just stay like that. So back to what I was saying. So we went around like one time just because I wanted to look at the animals, and then we came back to him and I was like, you know what? They're the only bearded dragons there, and I wanted him. He was super cute. And so he looked pretty orange, but when they were a baby, one little tip for y'all is they're not bright orange. Like, he was very dark, like a normal color. Like, this is how orange, and when I've inserted the pictures later on when I edited the video, you'll see he was not that orange. He honestly looked at brown, and so I'm going to let him down on my lap because he wants to run around. But he wasn't that orange at all. Like, surprisingly, when he was a baby, I could have told you he wasn't going to be orange at all. Like, he just had like little tiny stripes of orange, not big, like his whole body orange and his head yellow now like he is. But I was like, okay, and I believe it was $150. It was either 100 or 150. I can't exactly remember, but just because I believe he obviously was orange, and that was the price, and so I bought him. Then we went and got some dubia roaches because at that point I hadn't ordered dubia roaches from the site that I get them, which is dubiaroaches.com, which is an amazing site. But so we got about like 50 because I hadn't ordered any because we didn't know if there was going to be bearded dragons there, and then we didn't want to have dubia roaches in our house if we didn't have an animal. I mean, also, I don't really recommend doing this, but because I was getting the stuff for my birthday, which it wasn't until November, so like 2 months, we weren't going to buy the stuff because it was supposed to be for like a birthday thing, even though I was paying for most of the stuff. But my parents did pay for the cage, and my parents decided they would pay for one little decoration thing in their cage. So they got like him a little wood thing. And so that's basically all they paid for. I paid for the dubia roaches, then I paid for some egg cartons to hold the dubia roaches, and then a bunch more ornaments, which he had this little tiny, I don't know why I call them ornaments, but they're like little decorations. And so he had this little tiny plastic thing that's so cute, and it was so tiny and you can't fit it anymore. But I'll try to find a picture of it if I have one, because I just think it's so cute how much he's grown. But I think that's really it. And then I just went in the car, and I had like this little, I think I have a picture of this, I believe, a little plastic dollar store bin that I could fit in, and I gave him some apples, and he like ate them, and he was kind of scared, but he still ate them, and like it was just so cute. And it was 30 minutes back to our house, and then we set him up, and we set up his cage and all that because I had the lights, I had the lights that we needed and stuff like that, but we hadn't got a cage because that's right, I had all the lights and all like that stuff, but the only things we had left for it to get was a couple of like decorations, so his huts and stuff, and then his cage, and then his what's it called, and then the dubia roaches, because we couldn't find a cage the right size because it was 20 gallon. This is what I wanted to get, was a big 67 gallon right off the bat, but honestly I'm kind of glad I didn't, because like he wouldn't be able to find his food then. But we got a 20 gallon, and then at Christmas I got a 67 gallon. I think that's really it. If you want like that's pretty as much detail as it's gonna get, but if you have like these sections on, so basically one more thing I'm gonna add, and then I'm gonna wrap up this video. If you don't know what a reptile expo is, which I've gone into detail on how I got him, it's basically just an expo, or like somewhere you go, like there's Disney pin trading expos, because you know I posted my video about all my Disney pins I have, but they just basically like little events you go to where they sell or trade trade stuff. So like for this example, Disney pins, you trade them or you buy them, but for reptiles you buy them, and you can also bring reptiles there to, or at least the location I went to allowed you to. Obviously I didn't have a reptile then, but if we ever go back, I'll definitely bring Dorito. He's so cute. And so I think that's it. If you want to like, I'm just trying to think anything else, but if you want to like, please like. If you have any questions, please comment them down below. My Instagram is Elizabeth103016. Please subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and thank you very much for subscribing and watching this video. And do you want to say bye? Bye!